We're going to start with Spurs. So Spurs fans, we'll get to you in a minute if you want to talk about your manager or even your team or just what's happening. 03717 223344. Jamie O'Hara's very vocal.
He always is though, and he's always. It's always end of the world, or it's no, we're the best team in the world, or we won this, we won that. Now we're the worst team in the world. It's quite hard. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of.
But Spurs fans, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for me. It is a constant roller coaster of emotions for Tottenham fans. I would say more than any other football fans. They're up, they're down. They're going to win the league, then they're going to get relegated. Then the manager goes, new one comes in. They play brilliant. Harry Kane leaves.
Everything is dramatised, though, isn't it? I feel with Tottenham.
I think that's a bit harsh.
I just think it is because listen, I get it. They're annoyed because of the results, but I almost feel like, because are we talking about this now?
Yeah, okay. Should we hold it?
Okay, let's hold it.
Because we'll get to it in a minute. Yeah. Keep our powder dry, right? Because, Benty, we have an unbelievable show. In the middle hour, we'll be talking about Goodison's last dance. It's unbelievably poised, by the way. It's the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison. Of course, they moved to their new stadium for next season. How about this? At Goodison, 119 games played, 37 draws, 41 all. How's that happen? Wow. Why does football do that? 41 all.
Yeah, it's like it knows.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, that's surprising me because I thought Liverpool would be heavily dominant in that, even at Goodison Park. But
I agree with that.
I'm sad that they're leaving there. I don't play anymore, so it makes no difference to me. But I enjoy playing there a few times. A couple of goals there.
You scored there, okay. Do you know he didn't score?
Yeah.
Where?
Exeter City. no, I did score there pre-season.
Bosh, 1-0. I bet it was a header, wasn't it?
That weren't actually, but
Can you remember all of your goals?
No, of course I can't.
I bet
Premier League, yeah.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
How many you scored in the Premier League? 100 and what?
106.
You can remember all. So if we did a little quiz, right? Not necessarily today.
I couldn't go. If you went 74th, I wouldn't remember.
No. But if we said, for argument's sake, Spurs v Newcastle.
Yeah, header. What a header, by the way, at White Hart Lane.
Okay, if we, for argument's sake, said Ipswich v, I don't know the teams in and around you. Brighton. You ever play Brighton back then?
Yeah, but we were in Division 1 back then.
Right. If I mentioned a year and a club and the fact you scored, would you be able to tell me what half?
Probably.
And roughly when?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do that for the end of show quiz. Let's change it. That'd be amazing to find out if you can do that.
No, but what was the question before?
I can't remember. See how weird that? We can't remember the question before.
Oh, no, Goodison Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable state. I remember first going there with Ipswich when I was travelled with the team. And Gazza was still playing for Everton at the time.
Okay.
I remember Matt Allen scoring a cracker, but I remember thinking the atmosphere, it felt like an old-fashioned football stadium.
Well, it is, right?
But how football should be, if that makes, like, the fans were brilliant, vocal. There's that one stand that just felt like it went up and up and up and up and up. I mean, I remember, I don't know if they've changed the change rooms now, but I remember the away dressing room and that, it was awful. And the tunnel was so tight. I do remember.
That's what makes great.
Yeah, it's quite, but it is sad, and I can understand.
You know what's bizarre is that I'm an advocate for keeping the old stadiums, right? But you and I were lucky enough to do something for Carlin a few weeks back at the new Wembley, or Wembley, as it's
called. I would say Dagenham.
No, okay, well, there's the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. But I really love the old Wembley just because that's where we won the World Cup and there's so much history there. And I really didn't want the old one to be knocked down, the Twin Towers and all that. But when you go to the new Wembley, like we did, and it was empty, and you can have a look round, we went through the trade room, very lucky we went on the pitch. You just go, wow.
Oh, have you returned that thing that you stole?
No.
Sorry.
Where did you rented that from?
No, sorry, but no, you're right.
I've got that, by the way, that's on eBay at the moment. Yeah.
So, well, now, Karen, it was, Wembley's incredible, wasn't it?
Should I have nicked the armband?
Do you know what? No. Right, first, that's no.
So, hold on, let me just point out. Yeah. So, me and Benty just walked about because it was empty.
Yeah.
And in the England dressing room, it's all set up for tours.
Yeah.
And on Harry Kane's hanger, there was a Harry Kane shirt.
Yeah. Those boots all in there.
Yeah, I wasn't going to nick them. And the armband.
Yeah.
And I thought, should I nick the armband?
Yeah, but there's loads of like little trophies and memorabilia.
Yeah, I can't nick that because they're reals, but the armband's just anyone's, right?
Yeah.
Should I have nicked the armband?
No. You're not a thief.
Okay, we'll move on.
So yeah, but no, I think, yeah, for Everton fans, it'd be interesting when we speak to Everton fans how they feel about the transition, because West Ham fans were not happy when they left Upton Park.
That wasn't a football stadium they moved to. That was the main reason, right? The views were awful.
Okay, why they moved to London, I get that, but it's a big arena, it's an incredible arena. But they felt like their home had been taken away.
Yeah.
I wonder how Everton fans are feeling moving into, because it looks incredible.
Well, ask that five. It's a good question. Yeah. Well, it does look incredible when
it's not flooded.
It's not flooded.
But it's next to water, right?
What?
It's next to water, right? It's on the.
Yeah, but it's different from water coming in the ground level to coming down the stairs on Rose Ed.
Imagine it coming through the roof.
Like Old Trafford. So all of that is coming up. We'll talk a bit of boxing as well. Real busy show. 03717 223344 is the number that Spurs fans need to dial now, because Spurs were beaten 1-0 away to Bournemouth last night. Could have been worse, actually. The fans were turning on the manager at the end of the game. So is this the beginning of the end for Big Ange?
And it's Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0. An absolute comedy of errors from the visitors.
Every single day, every single week, until we stop conceding set pieces. We ain't going to train. All we're going to do is we're going to warm up and we're going to do set pieces. It is a joke.
They've lost as many games this season, Jamie, as Crystal Palace and Everton. Bournemouth 1, Spurs 0.
Then some people started blaming the chairman. The chairman didn't say do the ball short all the time. It was just awful.
Well, sack the manager. Listen, it's that time of the month. He's a fraud. Let's call it what it is. He's a fraud.
Wow. He's a fraud. Tottenham boss Ange Postecoglou was on the receiving end of some stick from Spurs fans last night in his side's 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth. The result means that Tottenham have won just one of their last 6 games in all comps. They're 10th in the Premier League. Postecoglou, who's been speaking to the media today ahead of Sunday's massive game at home to Chelsea, he said he's not bothered whether the fans are backing him or not.
Well, they're behind me, mate. They're behind the club. I've got no interest in who's behind me. It's and look, last night, you got to figure the ones who travel to Bournemouth are fairly hardcore supporters, so they weren't happy with what they saw. And like I said, they felt like they needed to give some feedback. I took the feedback on board and we move on. The supporters are the supporters. They're invested in this club. You know, whoever's in charge, whichever the playing group is, and they will, feel what they feel, whether they can see what we're trying to do or they can't see what we're trying to do. I can't change that materially without there being evidence on the pitch that they can see. Now, if they can't see it at the moment, then it's up to me to make sure that they do see that.
He started off like a house on fire, didn't he? And then all of a sudden, things just have gone from bad to worse. In Tottenham's last 42 Premier League games, stretching back to last November, so just over a year, Tottenham have won 18, lost 18 and drawn 6. They've scored 80 goals, conceded 67.
Not great.
What did you make of the stick that you got yesterday at the end of the game?
Well, do you know what? I almost feel that it was... I like Big Ange. I think the football he plays is entertaining, but we've always said he needs a plan B, and he said he's not going to fair play. If that's the way he wants to go about it, that's the way he wants to go about it. But I almost felt the divide started properly last season when he couldn't understand why the Tottenham fans wanted his side to lose against Manchester City, which would have effectively helped Arsenal win the title. I don't think he's ever recovered from that. I don't think that the divide between the two has ever recovered, to be fair, because he had some fans going, he doesn't understand what it means. And I can understand both sides, to be fair. I understand Spurs fans not wanting Arsenal fans to get that joy, that thanks, you won the game, so we won the league. I understand that. But being a Premier League manager is hard enough as it is. So you can't pick and choose where you take results. So from Ange's perspective, he's thinking, well, it's not really about what Arsenal do. It's about us improving, and we have to improve. We have to beat sides like Manchester City. So I could see both sides of it, but I always felt like there was never no coming back from that. But that was where the divide started to really kind of happen. And he's questioned his side's mentality. There's been so many questions to him about the supporters and what they think, and even his answers there, where he said, "Well, they don't have to back me. They've got to back the team." And in that, I kind of understand that as well, because you want your team to do well. Where this ends, I don't know, because yes, their form's not great. I wouldn't say it's like horrific like some teams. Do you know what I mean? But realistically as well, where should Tottenham be at this moment in time? That's the obvious question.
I think they're better than 10th with the players they've got.
Okay,
I really
so
do.
if you're looking at realistic situations, right? They should be above Bournemouth, Forest, Fulham, Brighton, right?
Yeah. If you talk about the size of the club and the name of the club, yeah, you're right.
But unfortunately, names of clubs and names on papers, it's irrelevant.
Do you think he comes across quite arrogant? When he wins, he's all full of the joys of spring. When he loses, I mean, he picks fights with the press all the time.
Yeah, I guess he don't like some of the questions he's been asked as well. But where this ends, I don't know. But does he last the end of the season? I'm not sure. But I just think he's been so blunt in some of his answers when they've said about set piece coach. Nope. Now, people can poke fun all they want about Arsenal scoring set plays, but look at...
I don't think they're poke fun. You can't argue with the proof.
Exactly. And look at the game the other night against Manchester United. Hardly anything in it. 2 set plays, you win 2-0. Yeah. That's how important. But the fact that he's like, nope, we don't need one. Nope.
Spurs fans, I'm going to ask you to phone up now, 03717223324. Lots of Spurs fans, I imagine, will phone up and blame Daniel Levy. Has he got anything to do currently with the way Spurs are playing football?
Well, they're going to say that he doesn't put his hand in his pocket and bring in established Premier League players, which will take them to the next level. That's always been the argument.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.